Right. This has been a while. This has been a while since it's been a long time since I've gone live. Um, probably near on about 12 months now since I've gone live. But I just wanted to come on. I just wanted to come on here for about 20 minutes to talk about the game today. I was fearing the worst. I was fearing the worst, to be honest. After that first half performance, they absolutely dominated us, and I was getting deja vu to the Burnley performance a couple of weeks ago. We weren't interested at all. We just didn't seem up to it, and fair enough at points to a certain extent. Fair enough because we're already safe. We don't really have much else to play for. So it still was quite painful seeing that performance though. But I'm glad we kicked into gear in the second half, and especially since they went down to 10 men, you could definitely see the motivation increase massively, and we were more since they went down to 10 men. We looked more like our old selves, and that's why. That's what I wish we were more this season. Especially, I know we've had loads of injuries, and that can definitely hamper anyone's season. But I just wish we went a bit more gung ho, and now that may have resulted in us being dragged dangerously close to the bottom three. But I mean, it's a bit of a tricky one. It's a bit of a tricky one because I wanted us to play more positive football at times this season, but then again, I don't really know. I guess sometimes you have to take the negative route, which is not really the way I would want to go. But hopefully next season, anyway. Hopefully next season, once we bring in some signings, which we definitely do need to. We definitely do need to make some signings in the summer. That is undoubtedly the case because it's killing us. I've said many times this season. Even though I've been away for multiple months, so I haven't expressed it on YouTube. But I have said multiple times this season that the small squad ethos, if you will, is killing us, and it's really heartbreaking to see, really, because I'm not sure heartbreaking is the right word, but it's definitely affecting us, and I was crying out. I was crying out in the January transfer window. Just get someone of worth, and I mean, I can't really complain because we got Willian Jose. We got Willian Jose in the January transfer window. That was a decent signing, and he's been unlucky at times. But I was crying out, make some signings, because surely someone has got to see this is not working. The close core, the small squad that we've had for about 3 or 4 years, it's clearly not working now. Surely someone at the club has got to see that, and thankfully it hasn't. Well, they've finally spoken out on it, and they're going to do something in the summer, but it could well have cost us. We got lucky. We got very lucky, and we pulled a few results together and clawed ourselves properly away from any sort of danger. But we could well have been in a much worse position than we are now. But thankfully we aren't. Thankfully we aren't where where some clubs are at the moment. Especially what one club I do feel a bit sorry for is Sheffield United, because they've that could have been us. That could have easily been us this season. A club like Sheffield United who just haven't had the luck in front of goal, and we've had a similar situation as well. We've just sometimes we haven't really created. Sometimes we haven't really created enough chances to score, because we've just tried to pass our way to goal. We've tried to change our style of play to suit like Man City, and it hasn't it hasn't really worked. I don't really know why. I mean, I can kind of see why we tried to change our style of play to a more possession base. Because look at Man City, they're riding high at the top of the league. It's clearly working for them. But I mean, they've got proper ball playing players like Kevin De Bruyne, Ruben Dias. You know, I don't really need to name them. You can just figure it out for yourself. And yet we're here. We've got, you know, in comparison, we've got, you know, well, we've got Ruben Neves, who is of a similar quality, but you know, on the other hand, we've got players like Leander Dendoncker and Connor Cody, who have tended to have their off days this season, which is quite unfortunate. But I'm happy with the 3 points. I'm very happy with the 3 points, and I'm happy for Morgan Gibbs-White as well. Because it's been a long time coming. He was impressing for Swansea in the Championship earlier in the season, and I think he scored a fair few goals as well. So it was about time. I don't think he's ever scored for us before. So it's about time. He's been at the club for so long now. It's about time we got his first goal, and he finally got it. And Traore's been impressing as well. You know, he's definitely. I'm not sure what he's done, but he's definitely done something to his game, because obviously we all know over the past couple of years, his first season at the club wasn't great, but last season he came on leaps and bounds and started not particularly scoring more, but definitely getting involved in the play more and in improving his own products. And this season it hasn't really obviously it hasn't really been the best for anybody really in our squad. I mean, yeah, I could count on one hand the players that have had a good season, and no prize for guessing who they are. But Traore, in the last few games, has definitely proved the doubters wrong, and he's definitely He's probably. I can't put my finger on what he's done, but he's definitely done something to improve his game, and he scored a really good goal today. He scored a really good goal, a really important goal as well, to get us back on level terms. And that's where he's key. That's where he's key. When he comes on, when he comes on for the last half hour of games, purposely. When the opposition's tired, uses his pace, and that's where he can hurt teams. That's why I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that when he's put straight into the starting 11, I'm frustrated about that, because you know he doesn't play as well then, because then the opposition has time to learn his trade and learn what he's all about. But yeah, I'm quite happy with his performance, and he's one of many who hasn't had a great season, but towards the end of the season. He's definitely improving, which is great to see. Which is great to see, and hopefully he can carry on his form into next season as well. And it's looking promising. It's looking promising. So the final 3 games now. We've got Spurs next Sunday, and then Everton in midweek, and then finishing off with a home game against Man United. So it's a bit. We've had a mixed bag of results. We've had a mixed bag of results in the last few weeks or so. I'd say we should have done a lot better than we have done. We should have won the Black Country Derby. We should have done a lot. We should have done a lot better in that game than we actually did. Our defense was really not good enough. It should have been a lot better than it was in that game. And I think I'm glad we beat Brighton. I think we should have done a lot better against. We should have done a lot better against Newcastle as well. It's just and against West Ham as well. Our defense was absolutely shocking in that game. Absolutely shocking. I mean, we tried to put fair play. We tried to play more positively in that game, but it went horribly wrong. We found ourselves 3-0 down within half an hour, which is absolutely ridiculous. But we should have got a lot more points than we should have. And now we have a tough end to the season. Spurs, Everton, and Man United. 3 very tough games. With 2 of those 3 still vying for Champions League football, which we probably should have been. And at the start of the season, we were definitely still aiming for Champions League football, but obviously the circumstances of having the injuries we've had, we've just completely fallen off a cliff, unfortunately. But hopefully next season, this season was a rebuilding season, a solid mid-table finish, which I think that's probably we probably progressed in the wrong way, really. We probably progressed in the wrong way. We've had 2 7th place finishes and now have a mid-table finish when it probably should have been the other way around. We should have had a mid-table finish first, and now is the time we should have been progressing and moving up the table. But oh well, we just have to take what. Hopefully we can. I think the milestone we're trying to reach now is 50 points. We've got 3 games left. The maximum amount of points we can get now is 54. So if we win all 3 and get 54 points, that would still be a pretty solid season, and only 5 points off the tally of last season. So if you think about it, winning our final 3 games, 54 points, 5 points off our tally of last season. Despite the injuries we've had this season, it's not as bad as we actually first thought. So. And also on the plus side, it gains momentum for next season as well, which I'm really excited about. I'm looking forward to next season because hopefully we can push on, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued for this summer now and what signings we're going to make, because I've been crying out for ages for a striker, and maybe until the last month or so, maybe we still needed a proper striker to support Jimenez. But maybe Fabio Silva has definitely come into some form at the end of the season, and I've bashed him quite a lot since he arrived. Fabio Silva, there's a lot of weight on his shoulders, and he hasn't really performed so far. He's been learning along the way, which probably I should have took into consideration, but he's definitely come on leaps and bounds, and he's got a couple of goals for himself as well. He's got a couple of goals. He scored a really nice goal against Sheffield United as well, and he would have scored. He probably would have scored against Brighton today if it wasn't for Lewis Sonke pulling him down where he was bearing down on goal. But I'm really excited. Hopefully. Maybe perhaps he could form a really nice partnership with Jimenez next season. I'm really intrigued to see, and that leaves the question of the future of Willian Jose, because I mean he's finally got his Willian Jose finally got his he finally got his goal. It was against Sheffield United. I can't think of. Oh yeah, it was against West Ham. That was it. Against Fabio Silva. I'm getting mixed up. It's slowly coming to me, but yeah, Willian Jose, he's been a bit of a mixed signing, to be honest. At first, the first few games, and especially the game against Crystal Palace, I thought I had high hopes for him, and I thought he would be. I thought he'd be the solution to our problems. Solution to the Jimenez problem, but actually it's turned out that Fabio Silva has been the solution to the Jimenez problem, because he's gained so much confidence and experience now from playing so many games with the first team this season, that he's actually been leading the line and scoring a fair few goals. And you know, Willian Jose is only on loan, so it begs the question: is there any need for his option to buy to be triggered? And in my opinion, I mean, there may be differing opinions, and I'm sure there is, but I don't think there is. I don't think there is any need to bring Willian Jose back for next season, because I think Fabio Silva has progressed that much and will continue to progress into next season, that I don't think there's any need for Willian Jose anymore. I think the main reason we got Willian Jose was because Fabio Silva was rushed into the first team after Jimenez's injury, and he wasn't really coping well with Premier League life. So we desperately needed a source of goals, but now we've clawed ourselves away from danger, and he's finally got used to the conditions here in England. I don't think we need Willian Jose next season, and I mean maybe there's a case to be argued that he probably would have in his first couple of months here since arriving in January, he probably would have performed a lot better had he got more service. He probably would have scored a fair few more goals, but sometimes as a striker, I guess, if you're not getting the service from your teammates, you have to do that yourself. And his work ethic perhaps hasn't really been good enough. But that's up for debate. I'm sure there's many points of view on that. But that's all to consider in the summer, really. There's lots of things to consider in the summer, because it's quite interesting, really. It's quite interesting, really, because with this being a rebuild season, because for the first few years of Nuno's reign, it was all set in stone and everything just clicked into place. But now we've come into some adversities now, and now we need to change up and think differently. So it's interesting. It gives a lot more food for thought, and I think I'll definitely be making quite a lot of videos over the summer on this. But yeah, overall I'm quite happy with the 3 points, and you know, anything. I'm just thinking now until the end of the season, any point we can get is a bonus. We've secured a 4th consecutive season in the Premier League, which is absolutely great. Happy days. And now we're all looking forward to hopefully a better season next season. You know, it still has the potential to go horribly wrong, but let's try and think optimistically here. Let's try and think optimistically, because you know, we've had a tough season, and we've had a lot of negativity this season, which is unfortunate. So let's try and think positive to next season, and you know, looking ahead, just a quick look onto the next few games. Spurs, I saw a glimpse of them yesterday against Leeds. They looked absolutely hopeless. So it doesn't doesn't automatically say that we're going to go and beat Spurs now, because Spurs away. Obviously we beat Spurs last season. That was a fantastic win and a great performance. But Spurs away, it's still a very tricky place to go. But on the other hand, Spurs are looking shaky. They've just sacked Jose Mourinho. They've got an interim manager in charge, so it's going to be interesting. And hopefully, if we play like we did in the second half against Brighton today, then I think we'll have probably have a good chance of picking up 3 points. To be honest. Everton, they're currently playing now against West Ham. I'll probably, after this live stream finished, I'll go and watch that and see how they're doing. And then Man United at home. I mean, I don't think we've had a home game for the final game of the season for quite a few years now, from what I can remember. So every year it's been away, but yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good to have the fans back in for that one as well. It's going to be very good, because that's I think there's been a general consensus this season that it definitely would have been better. It definitely would have been a better season. It still would have been a tough season with the injuries we've had, but it definitely would have been a better season than it has been had the fans been inside the ground. Good win for us, especially as Brighton made it difficult once they went down to 10 men. Yeah, I think that's I think that's the curse you get in football, really. Once the team, it's a bit of reverse psychology. Like a team goes down to 10 men, you expect it to be easier, but in reality, they go down to 10 men. The instant thought for them is, tighten up, and especially if they're going down to 10 men while they're ahead like they did, tighten up and try and preserve what we have. So it's a bit of a a funny one there, but I'm glad we managed to break down that barrier, because for large parts of the game, Brighton seemed unbeatable. To be honest, they seemed unbeatable, and I mean, I vividly remember. If you go back all the way, it seems such a long time ago now, the Championship title winning season. We've come such a long way and achieved so much since then. It seems like a lifetime away, but I remember, back in the Championship title winning season, whenever teams came to Molineux, because we had such a strong team, and we all we always had the same game plan. Was it in the Championship title winning season, or was it? No, I think it was the season after. To be honest, against against smaller teams that we really should have been beating, like Huddersfield, and Cardiff and so on. That was, in amongst the success in that season, there was also, perhaps we could have done a lot better than we did. We could have realistically been challenging for the top four in that season if we always played up against the big teams. We got we managed to take a point from Old Trafford. We managed to beat Man United in the reverse fixture as well. We managed to take a point off Man City. We competed quite well against the big teams. We managed to beat Chelsea. Managed to take a point from Stamford Bridge as well. So I remember in that season, we always played up against the big boys, but then we struggled against the smaller teams because they had their game plan, and when we tried to play expansively, they didn't allow us to do that. So I mean, it's a weird. I'm going on a tangent here, but that's what happens sometimes. That's what happens with me sometimes. I just remember something, and then I just waffle on it about it for what seems like hours and hours. But yeah, hopefully, that's the definitely a big word at the moment. Hopefully, and I came into this game with a lot of hope, to be honest. Despite us not getting the result that I was hoping for against the Albion, we still played relatively well, and it was practically unplayable in that game for the last 15, 20 minutes or so, or however long it was. So, we despite getting a draw and probably, there's always a sense, I guess, in derby games that you should be doing better than you are if you don't end up winning the game. But yeah, it was good to get a point, because it would have been absolutely disastrous. It would have been absolutely disastrous if they did double over them, because I mean, even though everyone knows they're going down, that they're going to talk about it for they're never going to stop going on about it if they actually did that. We need to work on breaking teams down. Overall, we've been unlucky with injuries. Yeah, as I say, that's the main theme of this season, and I think that's why everyone, we obviously it's a bit ridiculous to compare us to teams like Man City and Man United and your Liverpools and your Chelseas and so on and so forth. But look at them. They're really successful at the top of the league. Especially I think Man City is the best example, to be honest, because look at them. They've got loads of money, so they can practically buy whoever they want. But if they've got an injury, no problem. They can just say if they got an injury to I don't know, if Raheem Sterling got injured, no problem. Just swap it out for Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva. They've got at least two different options there, and that's what we need. I think that's the main focus this summer, is just getting that one extra option there, because that's especially at top, because I think mainly up top as well, because obviously we've had a massive shortage of goals across the season. But also maybe in the back line as well. Maybe in the back line, because you saw how because when Willy Bolly was injured for a large majority of the at least a couple of months, Willy Bolly was injured. I think between around October and January, that sort of time, when Willy Bolly was injured, we definitely missed that aerial presence, and I think we started to concede a lot more during that time. And I think especially in this game as well, because Willy Bolly probably if Willy Bolly was marking who scored the goal, Lewis Dunk, there's a good chance we might have got that away and prevented Brighton from scoring there, because it's a bit of a mismatch really, when I think Ruben Neves was marking Lewis Dunk, so there's a bit of a mismatch there. But once you put an aerial presence like Willy Bolly in, it makes a world of difference, and there's we can easily deal with that. So that's probably apart from the obvious up top, that's probably where we need to improve the most. It's probably in our back line, to most just because Willy Bolly, maybe there's a case Romain Saiss does an equally good job as at winning headers, but yeah, I think in my opinion anyway, we definitely need um, instead of just unfortunately we can't clone Willy Bolly, so we can't if one of him's injured, we can't just chuck the other one in. But yeah, I think we definitely need a certain type of defender just that would do that role when he's injured, because I definitely think we concede a lot more goals then. Are you planning to go to matches next season? Yeah, definitely. I was really disappointed, and I think when I did my live streams during lockdown last year, I mentioned this quite a lot. I was quite disappointed because I went to the Norwich game, the 3-0 win over Norwich. I really enjoyed that because that was my first game at Molineux for a long time, and I was really excited. I was planning to go to the Brighton game as well. Coincidentally, and I never went, and I probably should have gone in the end. I probably should have gone. I'm regretting not going. But yeah, definitely. I can't wait. I can't wait to go back. I went back to Molineux last week, and it was so surreal seeing it, because it was literally, I think the last time I went within a close proximity of Molineux was that Norwich game last February, which was absolutely insane, but it was great. It was great to be back there again, and hopefully I can be back there sometime soon. I probably won't be. I might be doing match day vlogs again. I'm not quite sure on that at the moment, because I'm not sure. That's something to consider, because I quite like. I mean, I might do a review. I'll definitely if I don't end up filming the game, I'll definitely do a review after the game. But on the other hand, I do like filming the games as well. It's kind of like a nice memory, especially if it's a nice win as well, like it was against Norwich. And it was the last time I saw Jota and Doherty in action as well, which is obviously really sad. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice, and hopefully I can go to the big games, because I always the only gripe I have is the only games I can seem to get to. Obviously the last game I went to was the Norwich game, which it's not really like it's not exactly a game against the big six, is it? So I'd love to go to a game against Man United, or a game against Man City, one of the big games, because you always get a big atmosphere at those games, and especially away days as well. I've only been to a couple. I've been to Wembley once, and hopefully we can go to Wembley again. We had quite a good run in the FA Cup this season, and unfortunately, our players didn't live up to it in the defeat against Southampton in the 5th round. But hopefully we can have a cup run again. Hopefully, maybe next season, perhaps. But yeah, that day out at Wembley was a bit mixed for obvious reasons, but at the same time, it was really nice, and I'm glad I managed to put that on this channel as well. And Craven Cottage is quite a nice ground. I think I'll have to do a video ranking the grounds I've been to, because I mean it probably would be quite a short video, to be honest, because I mean I've not been to many. I've been to Craven Cottage. I've been to the Valley. But I think the Valley is probably one of my favourite away grounds, to be honest. It's quite nice. It's located in quite a nice area of London, to be honest. But yeah, Um, that's probably quite an interesting video idea, to be honest. I've been to about 10 grounds. Fulham is nice. Yeah. Fulham's quite nice. It's quite funny with London, really, because you're coming to London, and because obviously obviously I live in the Midlands, so it's it massively it massively contrasts really with the houses. I'm like, which one could I potentially afford in the future? Yeah. um yeah, it's Craven Cottage is in quite a nice area, to be honest, and although I have to say, it doesn't look like it has much cover. The away end doesn't look like it has much cover, to be honest. I don't know. It's just from my personal experience, and from what I can remember. That was 4 years ago now. That's how times have changed. How times have changed. We can go from low mid table in the Championship with Paul Lambert to mid table in the Premier League with Nuno in 4 years. How time flies, but yeah. I think Fulham's ground is getting a renovation, currently as well. So it'd be interesting to see on the away day when that's finished, what it looks like. But yeah, I'd definitely like to go to more grounds. That's it's all about it's mainly about, obviously it's about the result, but also it's about the experience as well. I like the experience as well. As if the two players who never score saves. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Traore gets a lot of stick because he never scores, and it was quite a disappointment in the last game, especially because there was some instances where Traore didn't really. He should have done a lot more, and he was quite selfish a couple of times. He went for. I mean, you can't blame him for going for goal, really, because it's a sign of ambition, which is good, because we desperately need more players. We desperately need more players shoot for goal. It's like I swear you need to put a poster outside. You need to put a poster outside the ground for the players to read, just like, wanted more players who have the balls to have a shot on goal. That needs to be drilled into their heads more, so we actually score more goals. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully players like him improve for next season, because we'll definitely need it. We'll definitely need a lot more improvement next season, because I imagine Fosun will be having aspirations of certainly doing a lot better. I'm not sure, maybe about trying to reach the top 6 again, but maybe that's a bit of a push too far, considering the circumstances that have hit us in the last 12 to 18 months or so. But we'll see. It's just a waiting game at the moment. It's just waiting and see what happens, see how it unfolds. But yeah, I think that's about it, really. I was only supposed to come here on here for about 15 to 20 minutes. But instead of that, I've ended up rambling for about 40 minutes. So I hope you have enjoyed. It's my pleasure. Yeah. It's a great win. Moving on to Spurs next Sunday. A very, very tough game, but hopefully we can get back-to-back wins. We've not done that many times this season, but I have hope. I have hope and optimism, despite what other people may believe sometimes. But anyway, I'll catch you in a few days with another video. Until then, I'll see you later.